I'm here with Ness and Marc, the owners of Llama's Corner, and we're going to have a conversation about their beginnings, of how they created their business and, just what inspired them to take this journey. Thank you for, taking this interview with me. And we're not going to waste any time. We're going to jump into question one. What music do you like to listen to when you brew your coffee? Do you play some music in the background?
You can start.
Music for me are my two kids. I don't really have time for music. I mean, that used to be pretty much before the kids, but no, it's a little bit chaos of everywhere. So music for me is my 2-year-old. I think Marc may have some freer moments sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
And he's French rap, I think.
French rap.
Okay.
Old school rap, Bob D.
What?
50 Cent.
Okay.
Just to get you in the mood.
Yeah. And see, I'm gonna be out of the pocket. I probably listen to like a little bit of jazz,
Okay.
I try to listen to some chill music as I make a pour-over brew. Yes.
Got it. I don't really brew my coffee. Marc brews it for me.
I mean,
If I'm brewing, then it's usually that I have to do it.
Not by choice.
Not by choice. Yes.
I wish I had someone that was specifically designated to brew the coffee for me.
That's my man.
We gotta get our jobs in where we can fit in, So this is a year anniversary. This is why there's balloons, there's music behind us. How does it feel to make it to a year, like of owning your company, owning your business and your coffee business? How does it feel?
It's pretty surreal, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think I've really took in that it's really a year. Like, even though we did the planning and so forth, it doesn't feel like it's been a year. Mm-hmm. But it feels good because it wasn't easy. And it wasn't easy with just, figuring it all out. We're not restaurateurs. We've never done this before. And we don't have a lot of funding, which is another topic of discussion, but we're not going to go into that. So everything, literally, the two of us have done on our own. When we got this place, it was closed for 2 years. So we came in, we had to do a lot of work to bring it to what it is. And then we had to learn a lot of things ourselves. We have no mentors. We have no one, truly.
Nice.
And we had to go through that whole process, too, of employees, in the era after COVID, which is another discussion as well. Mm-hmm. And really then, providing a community here where people feel comfortable. Because us as minorities, it's very important to be able to create a space where all are welcome, but mostly, just that people of our color and our minorities just feel welcome to come here. Because when they come in, the comments of, I just feel like home, is really what makes us feel like we're doing our job.
Yeah, that's dope. That's the first energy that I felt coming into your coffee shop. It's cozy. It's like you feel comfortable. You got a vibe, music, mainly vibe. We got some music I used to go to a club with right now, but
that's because it's a celebration.
It's a celebration.
Yeah.
The times I've gotten in here, it's very cozy, it's very chill. You're able to sip some coffee and just relax yourself. And I think in light of the pandemic, I think everybody was looking for new spots, new places to go. Everything seemed to shut down, and so it's dope that that was your beginning. That you were able to basically begin when everything was, coming down.
Yeah.
What has it been as far as that experience? I know you said it was tough in the beginning, How do you feel like you've developed just like your own, like, I guess your personal energy? Like, how did you develop as you were going through it, trying to figure it out and just putting it together and making it a year is a win?
I mean, I think it's that we're really a team. Without Mark, I don't think I would be able to do this. That's one. And we literally do everything together. So we go through everything together.
Dope,
So
super
as
dope.
we do that, we're pretty much bouncing ideas off of each other, and sometimes, it's not always pleasant, but that's what it is. That's the real.
Teamwork make a dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work. And I think that we have really developed ourselves also, but also a tolerance. I think at the beginning you have fears, and then you also don't really know what you don't know. And as you continue to go through, it's like we're very good. We're both PMPs. Prior to all of this, we've been in the corporate world, holding managerial positions. So this was also, to be honest, I've said that outside of being a mom, this has been one of the hardest undertakings for us, because you just don't know what's coming at you. And the moment that you think that you're running smooth, hey, surprise, whether it's employees or you got a fridge breaking down, a freezer breaking down, deliveries not coming, stuff that you order out of stock, your coffee roaster, there's just so many things to manage and juggle. And I think being able to pivot and iterate and learn from your mistakes and keep pushing forward and really saying like failing is not an option, I think it's really, on days where I'm like, I'm exhausted, Mark is like, we gotta go. And days where he's like, I'm exhausted, I'm like, we gotta go, baby, let's go.
Yeah, I think what this has really also taught us is that we are extremely resilient.
Yes.
In the face of adversity. And our resilience has actually increased because the number of challenges that we faced has double, quadruple, and we're still here, we're still open. And when we look at the environment that we're in,
It's not an
this
easy
in
one.
itself is a big win.
Oh,
It's something to
huge,
celebrate.
huge.
But also, the thing that, I think I'm most proud of is that when we walk into our cafe, the energy that we get is exactly what we envisioned when we started the business. You said it, after the pandemic, everything, kind of shut down. Everybody was kind of down. You walk into some businesses, they don't even greet you. You don't feel that, that
They want you
homey
to be there.
feeling that you just mentioned. This is exactly what we wanted to bring to this community, but also, to a larger scale, to people who may not feel welcome or at home when they go to other establishments. And so when we decided, when we came in, it's like we're going to break away from this mold, and anybody from any background, from any walk of life is going to be welcome. And that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, man, that's excellent. And I think the beautiful.
Hey, Richard.
I feel like the great thing about the coffee business as a whole, there was a time that people would go to Dunkin' Donuts, people go to, I'm sorry, I should bleep. You could bleep all of that. Dunkin' Donuts, other coffee establishments where it's just a drive-through. You go in and you just get what you need. And I think in like what is happening right now, people want that experience. People don't just want to get a coffee and go. They can do that, but they want an experience where they're able to sip their coffee, drink, read their newspaper, the ones that still do, on their phone probably. But just being able to be comfortable while it's a whole experience. And I think people didn't know. And then once they got an opportunity to experience it, now they know what they're missing, I feel. Yeah. So let's, we went off, but great information. Because I think people starting businesses, they don't know. You just have the idea. You don't realize the journey.
It's true, and I think even after the pandemic, things have changed. Before, I think as human beings, we came out a lot more. Then we were kind of isolated for almost 2 years, and then from people that were in business before, the most common thing we hear from them now is like, it's not what it used to be. Well, we don't really know what it used to be before COVID.
Yeah.
And we're pretty much trying to adapt and also learn, you know, the nuances that have changed. And, you know, even though we have a space where you can come in and sit and, you know, read a newspaper, we also offer delivery, because there are groups of people that don't want to come in and sit down. So it's always just constantly thinking of how do you get to people, right? Because not everyone's the same.
Yeah.
And I think what you mentioned, you know, was always at the forefront for us, is providing an experience.
Yeah.
And to us, really, you know, whether you're taking out, whether you're coming in and you have, you know, an entire atmosphere that's kind of supporting your experience, they really start with the quality of our coffee. And that's really what we've honed in, and that's our first step.
Yeah.
We're coffee roasters first, and then we expanded into serving coffee.
Nice, and that's great. Random question. What roast do you guys prefer? I'm sure it's not the same roast, right? You guys have different roasts that you're into. Let me start with you. What's your favorite roast?
So, you know, typically medium, dark, light, and then when we started our coffee roasting business, we actually started with the medium dark, which I've never been accustomed to, but that is now my favorite. You know?
Wow.
It's like that middle ground between a medium roast and a dark roast. I used to drink dark roast before, but now I kind of found that happy medium, and I'm kind of sticking to it.
Okay, today I need to try a medium dark roast, because I'm mainly dark roast all the way, you know.
And that's drip coffee or like espresso?
Drip coffee.
Drip coffee? Okay. So we do have medium roast on our drip today.
Yes.
But it also changes. I guess that's also something that I don't know if people know, but we don't offer the same drip. You know, we do different origins, we do different roasts. So it's very important, I think, that we also educate our customers, because sometimes you'll come and then they'll want a drip and they want to add milk. And then, you know, in a month later, they might get coffee and add milk, but because it's not a medium dark, it's not the same, and then they'll complain, and it's like, hey, sorry, but it's a different roast. So sometimes you need to know if to add milk or not to add milk, or a little bit of milk. So those are things that we also learn, and we try to, you know, iterate so that people are more educated and understand that, and not just that the quality is changing, right? For me, though, I am medium and going to medium dark. So he's come this way, I've gone this way.
Perfect, right?
Yeah,
that really is how it. When looking at the industry, the coffee industry as a whole, what was the niche that you guys were looking for? And I guess you kind of answered it a little bit. You're looking for like making people feel at home. That was kind of your target point as you were.
I think that was for the coffee shop. But as the roastery, our niche was actually, we started out in decaf.
I read that.
We started out in decaf, and that was more from a personal need, because during the pandemic we bonded through coffee, and when I got pregnant, then I became caffeine sensitive, the irony of it all. And then being caffeine sensitive, I started trying decaf, and I just did not enjoy the decaf. And I kind of went down that rabbit hole as to why is decaf coffee so terrible? Are people truly doing this?
I wonder every day, all the time.
So as I understood why decaf coffee was not good, I then got like a mini roaster. We ordered like some mini beans, and then we started doing it at home. And family and friends were then constantly asking for our decaf coffee.
Wow.
And that's really how that started. Then it was farmers markets and so forth. But I guess I always forget that part, piggyback into really and truly all of this came to me in a dream. I dreamt this before it actually happened.
Wow.
I did.
Wow.
And I dreamt it, and I woke up and I told Mark, I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I dreamt that I was like roasting decaf coffee. I was on TV for decaf coffee. I'm like, it was decaf coffee. And he was like, no, babe, that's a great idea. So we were originally thinking of it as a business when I dreamt it. And in the dream, I only had one kid at the time, but I was dreaming that I had two kids. And that, you know, was almost kind of like serendipitous. Like it was also, what is the word, like a premonition. Like I had no idea that what I dreamt was really going to become my reality, and it really has been like what I really dreamt. It has really laid out itself step by step, where it's like, wow, that's a little bit crazy. I haven't been on TV yet, but actually Mark made fun today. He's like, so now the only thing you have left to do is to get you on TV. I guess.
You know, where this will go, I have one question though. Was the llama somewhere in the dream? Was there a llama somewhere in the distance of the dream?
No, the llama was not in the dream. The llama came from us going on a baby moon. And when we were actually talking about this idea, again, it's a business, the llamas came out from the farm that we were staying at.
Nice.
It was a bed and breakfast.
Nice.
And Mark was like, what about coffee llamas? And I'm like, nobody knows anything about llamas. And when we then actually researched llamas, we learned a lot that they're actually very protective. They are very big on, their communities, and then they spit when they're mad. So that really aligned to kind of our whole premise. We really wanted it to be that we were protecting. So like all of our coffee is organic, it's fair trade.
I love it.
We roast on an electric roaster. So it was kind of doing our part where we could as roasters, but then also knowing that, hey, we're not pushovers.
Yeah, gotta fight for everything.
Yeah, and it's single origin too.
Yes, it's single origin.
Single origin, and it's specialty grade coffee. So it's the top 3% of all beans out there. So people come in and they're like, oh, the coffee is very different.
Yeah.
That's because it's by design.
Yeah.
We want people to have the best experience. We want people to taste coffee that is premium and feel the difference. And they
That's
do.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, from piggyback off of what you were saying, Mark, like people just don't know. As I've gone to different places and coffee, extravaganzas, and I realized that like the person that goes, I'm not gonna kill another company, but the people that go to gas station coffee level coffee,
Yep.
they taste it, they're drinking cardboard, they don't know it.
They don't know it.
And when they get a really good cup of coffee, something changes. They're like, wait a minute, I did not know. I had no idea.
Yeah.
You just need something to get you to work.
It is. And I mean, that's literally what it is. It's gas station coffee. And yeah, it's such a commodity that most people, I think, really think that all coffee is the same, and it really is not. And
at all.
I think that when we started with our roastery for the decaf, that was really the crux of, well, for decaf to be good, it has to start with the beans, because you can be the best roaster on earth. If you don't have good beans, it doesn't matter. So having good beans meant that we were going to figure out how that and what that was going to be, and that's that specialty grade 3%, and we just carried that through then to our caffeinated and our coffee shop. And I think it's something that we also don't really advocate enough. So, people might see our prices and think like, oh, that's an expensive cup of coffee, but you're drinking some real good coffee.
The most important part. Part, that it's good.
And it's not sprayed with pesticides and chemicals, because we also forget that part. Coffee starts as a plant. And because it's a commodity, it's also done as cheaply as possible for most people.
Yeah.
So, just like how you want to drink organic or eat healthy, if you're a regular coffee drinker, we always educate people that it doesn't have to be our coffee, but you should really think about things that are going into your body, because it's known and it's linked to a lot of kidney problems, a lot of cancers. So that's really, I think, for us, just underlying, like everything that we push out, we really try to do good quality, healthy. Like that's really where we start with ingredients.
And you mentioned gas station coffee. You'd be surprised the amount of coffee shops that use gas station coffee.
Absolutely.
And you can roast gas station coffee. It's not gonna make it premium fresh coffee. And actually, what's funny is that there is a natural selection process with the farmers where the gas station coffee falls to the bottom and the high quality specialty grade coffee rises to the top. And that's how they filter and and figure out, which one is for which market. And it's I think it's funny that the high quality, the cream of the crop rise to the top, and the rest falls to the bottom. And so the bottom line is, you don't want to be drinking what's at the bottom. You want what's at the top. And that's why we offer it here.
You know what? I think you could have. That is a commercial in itself. You can make that into T-shirts. I'm just saying, who wants to drink?
We just might.
Hey, merch shop opening very, very soon. You know what? One other question that just popped into my mind. The situation with farmers, right? From what I've heard, that they almost got it in certain situations, many of them, they have to take whatever they can get. So they kind of get, from a business side, done very dirty, What are some of your thoughts of how people can improve that condition for the farmers? Like, because they, they just are not in a power position to negotiate.
I mean, I'll say that I think it starts with roasters being responsible, right? Because that's really the next chain after the farmers. And if we can, as a roastery, try to improve conditions for farmers, that means that we then really have to either seek out direct relationships, interact with farmers so we understand their pain points. I mean, it's the same thing like when you have employees, right? You can do whatever, but if you're not really interacting with the people that are working for you, you may not really understand what can actually get you to be better. So I believe that working with farmers, and if you can't work directly with a farmer, because that becomes its own problem as well, really seeking out fair trading, and that was really what was important for us as we started to go down that crux and that rabbit hole, because it's not something that you think of or you necessarily know just drinking coffee, but like you said, when you start to read and you start to know more, you realize like, man, they're really taken advantage of, and that's where for us we decided to make the change. And I really want to empower other roasters that they can play a huge part in deciding that, hey, we're only going to do fair traded prices. And that creates a movement in itself, because that also helps them to do better practices for farming, right? If they're getting low grade prices and they're barely making it, guess what? They can't put in the resources to make better coffee.
Yes.
Or to use organic practices, because all of that comes with cost too. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, pretty much aligned with what you said. I think that it starts also with not just the roaster, but right after that it's the consumer. The consumer has to insist on, hey, I want a coffee that is fair trade.
Yeah.
Because I'm the driver for the demand. So if I demand that the coffee be fair traded, us roasters and importers and farmers, they're going to align with the customer demand. If the customer demands gas station coffee,
that's what it is. And I mean, we say that it's like with anything, like you want to be sustainable, but it comes with a price.
Yes.
Right. But in the scheme of it all, it helps every person in that food chain. So it's just that responsibility of understanding, like, okay, I'm paying a higher price, but it's assisting others as well. It's not just paying a higher price because you're doing gas station coffee. You're doing gas station coffee, and then you're getting a higher margin. It's that you're actually, providing a product that is sustainable. So that's why that comes at a higher price. And not everyone can also afford that. So it just topples. So it's almost like a balance where I don't think it's something that can happen all at once immediately. But hopefully, as you have more demand and you understand more about it, then we get to that growth eventually.
And I think I think we've seen a turning point in customer demand.
Yes.
Customers is taking their coffee seriously, and they're asking that producers and importers are more responsible, and that they also take care of the environment. So that's good. We see that shift, and that's why we're here too. Because if customers were not supportive of that,
For sure, can you go around? Yeah, thank you.
we just wouldn't be able to sustain that business model.
Yeah, education. I think as people become more educated about what they're buying,
Yes.
then you know they start to kind of get that understanding. All right. Well, I just want to thank both of you guys, Marc and Ness,
Thank you.
for this interview. I appreciate it. I came here, and just was building, building. Definitely wanted to get a couple. I think I saw something like an ad on IG or like
Okay.
some type of like tag where someone was here.
Okay.
And like a coffee searcher in the world, I went to check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, let me find it. GPS was trying to take me off a cliff, but that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. But thank you for just, allowing me to interview you. Continue to keep doing, congratulations to you making a year.
Thank you.
And just, more success, more blessings to you as you continue to build and grow. And this is Dunn Drinks Coffee with Marc and Ness at Llama's Corner.
Yeah.
Peace. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man. Great interview.